Hey, I'm Danny, welcome back to South Lakes Living, the channel all about getting outdoors with your family, exploring, pushing boundaries and watching our children grow as a result. Also, exploring the Lake District from the air, land and underwater in ways you've possibly never seen before. Last time, we introduced our own two little budding adventurers, Ollie and Leon, and showed you 3 amazing spots near our home in the Lake District. We talked you through all of the equipment that we took with us on a weekend-long adventure, buying everything from rooftop tents to children's outdoor equipment to keep them safe. If you've not had a chance yet, go and check that video out. I'll put the link below. It builds on this adventure and so much more. In this one, we're going higher, we're going deeper, and we're going darker in one of the most amazing locations we've ever explored as a family. The Lake District is such a diverse place to explore, probably more than most people realise. Besides the mountains, water systems and forests, it has a heritage of slate and copper mines that have left a labyrinth of tunnels to be reclaimed by nature. Stories from ourselves, the school and locals really has triggered our boys' imagination and left them wanting to find examples of old mining equipment and traces of the past. With this in mind and a spare evening, we packed the truck with the equipment we needed for an adventure and headed for the hills. Let's go.
I'll take my helmet now. Some wet tools.
Down there, a maze of tunnels both above and below water level. The water itself goes over 100 feet deep. The walls tower over the water up to 140 feet high. These are frequently used by climbers for both climbing and abseiling. At the very centre, a rock formation that some people think are in the shape of a skull. The eye sockets have 2 ledges on that we could potentially jump from into the water. Now, if you live in the Lake District or you travel here frequently, you probably know exactly where this location is. But try not to give the game away too much in the comments. It's not just about protecting certain spots from overcrowding, it's just the ethos of this channel to try and encourage genuine exploration. Not just following our footsteps, following a pin on your phone. Just pack your truck, your car, your skateboard, your bike, whatever you've got available, go and explore. There are several ways down to the main section, including rappelling, scrambling, or through the main tunnels themselves. But I'd already got quite a lot planned for this trip, and it's always good to save a little bit for next time. We headed down the back through the forest route, which should bring us out inside the skull-shaped rock formation. On the hike down, the vegetation at this time of year looks absolutely immense. Kids love watching Jurassic Park. The whole thing just looked like a movie set. A big part of what we're trying to teach the boys is independent decision making. So we ask them to scout out the area themselves, looking for underwater slopes that they might hit, bits of metal sticking out, any hazards, anything along those lines, just to explain what they could see. We talk to the children about how dangerous water like this can be so that they're under no illusions. But we also talked about how we can do it safely, where we place our feet so that we don't slip, which direction we jump in so we don't land on the shallow areas or anything that will be sticking out. Don't put ourselves in those positions in the first place. Moreover, go. Ultimately, as mentioned, we're trying to promote them making their own decisions. So if they came up with an idea and it maybe wasn't the best idea, as long as it was safe, we'd let them have a go so that they can learn from the mistakes. Enjoying adventure sports shouldn't be about taking risks. It should be about enjoying new environments sustainably. For all of the adventures we go on, we'll talk you through all of the equipment we take with us. In this case, it was fairly standard stuff. Wetsuits, shoes, helmets, life jackets, dry bags, snorkeling equipment, all standard stuff that we went through last time. Check out the link below. As this location is much more difficult to get down to if something goes wrong, especially going into the tunnels, we packed the truck with some basic climbing equipment just in case. Firstly, a 9mm climbing rope that's 60 metres in length. This is dynamic, so it's got a little bit of flex to it. A child and adult size harness, a few quick draws, clips, lanyards and a descender. Basic climbing equipment that we'd leave in the truck just in case. Also, a very robust 12mm rope that's 10 metres in length. It's static, unlike the other rope, it has no flexibility and therefore it's great for creating ground anchors and strong points. Also, it can be submerged and reused. Underwater flashlights. Have a look at the IP rating before you buy. It tells you how much protection they offer from both dust and water. If you want something that can be fully submerged for extended periods, especially taken deep where the water pressure compresses the seals, I'd fully recommend getting a dedicated diving torch from a reputable dealer. Even IP68 devices you'll see on the internet are only tested submerged to a few metres. A dive rescue bottle with 1 litre capacity with allegedly up to 10 minutes of air. This is, in my opinion, a very dangerous statement from the manufacturer, and these shouldn't be played with. They give very little redundancy for resurfacing slowly. I use these for very short periods or as a backup safety device when I'm snorkeling through caves.
They come with a manual pump, but in my experience it takes a long time to even fill 10% of the bottle. If I'm honest, when I bought it I thought the pump would be great to use on a boat. In reality I use an electric high pressure pump that I also use for air guns to fill them. Finally, a base jump in single parachute system. It has a 285 square foot surface area and a pilot chute large enough to open from very low exits.
The purpose of this channel is to inspire you to get outdoors, also to guide you in buying equipment to do so, unless I list something as being specialist, in which case it takes a lot of experience and proper training to use safely. So here's my disclaimer, just to make myself feel a little bit better without meaning to sound over dramatic. If you mess around with scuba diving equipment without proper training, you're probably going to die. If you mess around with base jumping equipment without proper training, you will die. But we know that, don't we? On with the adventure. Ollie has been snorkeling with me now all season, and I can confidently take him with me on more intimidating stretches of water. Leon, though, is still only 6 years old, and although we've managed this year to get him snorkeling quite well in a swimming pool, water like this can be very intimidating. The light can't penetrate all the way from the surface to the bottom, so putting your face in the water with a mask, it feels like you're really high up and it just descends into darkness below. So we don't want to push him into anything that's really going to scare him. We're trying to build his confidence, not scar him for life. For some reason though, on this trip, he wanted to bring his equipment with him and give it a go, just like his big brother.
That's it, Leon, good boy.
I was trying to go over what we'd learned previously in the swimming pool in terms of technique, and Louise was doing a great job of calming him down. Now, I get anxious just the same as everybody else, and anxiety to a certain level can be good. Butterflies in our tummy, good. That's what we want, it keeps us safe, but we don't want anxiety to the point where it's controlling our body. It's making us do things that we don't really want to do. And the way I get around that is a breathing technique. I breathe in for a couple of seconds, hold it for a moment, breathe out. Sounds really simple, but it works. Just do that a couple of times over, a few repetitions. You should feel your heart rate reduce. You should be more calm and focused and able to concentrate on what you're about to do. Leon absolutely smashed it. I'm so proud of him. Finally, I've got both my boys snorkeling. I can't wait to see where this is going to take us. Boys! Well done, buddy. His confidence was built, and that was enough for this trip. So Leon decided to stay with his mum for a swim. Ollie and I went for a lap to see what we could find. Outside. I will come back to Ollie is like a little lightning bolt in the water, and it's really hard to keep up with him while I'm trying to film. Ollie's just learning to dive down, and the rope that he spotted was a little bit too deep for him, so he asked me if I'd go and fetch it. He started pulling it back up, absolutely convinced that there'd be some sort of treasure on the end of it. No luck this time, unfortunately, son. In the last video we mentioned children's fascination with carrying sticks, whether they're on land or underwater, and I didn't think the one he was snorkeling with last time could be topped, but children always find a way to surprise you. This water system didn't have anywhere near the aquatic life as the last one, but it did throw up a few surprises. This end was darker, it was deeper, and it was certainly more intimidating for Ollie, but it started to show some of the traces of the mine that was submerged beneath. This is what I absolutely adore about this kind of exploration. Over 2/3 of the world's surface is covered in water, yet only a tiny percentage has ever actually been explored. The feeling of weightlessness, not knowing what's living down there, what's down there geographically, it's the nearest thing I'll ever come to being in space. I love it, and my children are really starting to gain a passion for it too. At the bottom of the water where it's the darkest, you'll find the entrances to the deepest tunnels down there. They require specialist dive training and equipment to get down and explore, and have taken the lives of several people who have attempted to do so. Now on this trip, I obviously didn't have that sort of equipment with me, but what I did take is the means to get down far enough in the main section to show you just how deep it is, just how dark it is, but also to try and photograph any evidence of old mining equipment to show the boys. Somebody really didn't want this old van to be found. What was really fun though was that on the outside of it, in the dirt, scuba divers had gone down and they'd actually written on the outside the names, different messages. One had written, "This is not the Red Sea." In a future video, I intend to come back here with the correct equipment and explore these tunnels thoroughly. But for now, it's back to the family adventure. Now it was time to explore the upper tunnels, and both the lads wanted to get different things out of it. How about you, Ollie?
I wanted to snorkel through the dark caves because I'm getting over my fear of the dark, and I'm still a teeny weeny bit scared of it, but I wanted to see if I was getting less scared, so I wanted to test it out, but I have never snorkeled in the dark, so I thought this was going to be really scary, but let's find out.
In wintertime, the water table is high and floods this entire section. However, in the summer, sometimes, the water table is low enough to leave a slight gap between the surface and the rocky ceiling.
Ollie really wanted to snorkel through here, but on inspection I could see that the water level met the ceiling at some points and it was just too dangerous for him. He'd have to settle for watching me go through, make his way back, and we'll go through a less challenging tunnel system later.
I exited the cave here and looped back to where Louise was waiting. I'd given the boys the challenge of heading back to meet her, and they'd already backtracked through the tunnel, so they was there when I got there. It was now time for them to have a go going through a tunnel up to their waist in water, something a little bit more age appropriate and suitable for their ability level.
Yeah, look how far the tunnel goes.
I'd like to take a moment to talk about risk aversion in terms of children and how we manage it. Now, this is something that I enjoy speaking to other parents about quite frequently, just to get their take on the matter. In terms of our videos, hopefully there'll be some of you out there taking notes, quite inspired, but there's bound to be people who feel outside of the comfort zone. And for sure, there'll be those of you who are quite dismissive and just think what we're doing is too risky. And I completely get it. They're all completely valid points of view. And at the end of the day, we just want to keep our children safe. But here's the real question. Does avoiding risk make your children safer in the long run? I'd argue it doesn't. In fact, it may be the opposite.
Yeah.
We're not born with many of the fears that we have. It's something that we've learned, passed on to us through other people, rightly or wrongly so, through their own fears and anxieties. When I was a child, I was absolutely petrified of heights, and it's something that I've had to work on really hard throughout my entire life to overcome.
That's it, stay.
It's gone so far the other way now that I'm able to enjoy environments that I never dreamed would be accessible to me. I absolutely love this kind of development and watching our children grow as a result of it. Think about it, how many adults do you know who are uncomfortable outdoors? In water, hiking, climbing, in environments that years ago would have been second nature to us. We seem to have lost something as a human race. How can we honestly expect our children to develop the level of resilience that they'll need to deal with social, emotional, physical challenges for the rest of their lives if we don't let them take risks at this stage and learn from their mistakes? This is all just my opinion though, and there is no right or wrong answer. I am genuinely interested though in your opinion in the comments below. Let's get a dialogue going. Perhaps we could talk about how experiences that your parents gave you as a child help you overcome fears in later life, or perhaps how you've got anxieties now, maybe because you didn't have those experiences when you were younger.
That's it, Leo, I'm gone. On your bum, you'll be fine. Woo!
Also, it is never too late for us to grow as individuals. When we first moved here, I wasn't fantastic at climbing, so I decided to do something about it, take some indoor lessons, and now, as a result, I'm able to take the kids outdoors and we can learn and grow together. Lifelong learning. You're never too old, it is never too late.
No, don't.
This tunnel goes all the way through for a couple of 100 metres, has cold water that would rise up to the waist on the boys, and is a perfect challenge for their ability level.
Good boys.
We're here. You want to turn back now? Well done, that was awesome.
That was it, the end of the adventure. We'd had such an amazing evening together as a family, but something was still bugging me. Whenever I come to places like this, I love to try and jump from the very top into the water. But in this case, that was the height of 4 Olympic diving boards stacked one on top of the other. Getting it even slightly wrong would certainly mean injury, but most probably death. Way outside of my comfort zone, more importantly, way outside of my ability level. But there's definitely a level of curiosity there. And where there's a will, and there was a genuine will, there's often a way. A skydiving rig is considered to be very safe and reliable. You have 2 parachutes, you open thousands of feet in the sky, and it takes hundreds of feet for it to open. A base jumping rig, you have 1 parachute. 1 opportunity to get it right first time. The margins are so much smaller, but it's a dedicated device designed to jump from much lower levels, and the canopy can open almost instantly. To deploy any parachute, we use this thing. It's called a pilot chute. We pull it, throw it, and it catches the air in the sky, a bit like a big anchor. It's connected via a bridle to your parachute, which should be pulled out of the container and open, hopefully, nicely above your head. As mentioned, this location's about 140 feet tall. Certainly fatal for me, I believe, if I was to jump from the top, but unfortunately not quite high enough for my base jumping parachute to open via the pilot chute method. This is because it's still moving through the sky as it's doing its job, and it's not quite high enough for that. I was going to use a special technique called a static line. It's where we take a solid object such as a tree, a handrail, a building, anything that won't move, and attach the bridle directly to it using 2 special pieces of breakaway cord that's designed to break under a certain tension. So the plan is, the tree is connected to the rope that I brought with me, which is connected to the bridle using this cord. I jump, the tree pulls on the bridle, opening my parachute almost straight away, and at the point that I'd start dangling, the 2 pieces of special cord should snap, and hopefully I'll fly away nicely. Time to take my own advice. Breathe in, Hold it for a few seconds. Breathe out, repeat, keep that cycle going. Get rid of that anxiety that's controlling your muscles. You want butterflies in your stomach, but a clear head. Thanks for watching. If you've enjoyed following this adventure, then please give the video a like to watch our channel grow. And if you'd like to carry on the journey with these two little rascals, then please subscribe as well. You had a good time, boys?
Yeah! Make sure to like and subscribe to our channel.
Join us next time when I put myself well and truly out of my comfort zone on a solo mission, driving all the way across the incredible landscapes of Norway to try and fly down the legendary Mount Hoven.